I think one of the goals of every single prepper out there is to become a homesteader at one point or another. I shared with y'all yesterday the things that we do pretty much every morning to take care of our animals, essentially our quails. That's the one animal that we have focused on the most. For us, it just makes sense because we have them inside during winter and, obviously outside like you guys saw during spring or late spring and summer, and most likely a little bit into autumn. Um, but as I do things like that, and I show you guys the way that I do things, I think and reflect the things that I want to improve upon, and where I want to go in my life, the direction that I need to take in my life, because life is nothing more than a journey. And we all need to understand that every journey has crossroads. And just like we started this channel, I remember back when we started it, when we moved here, we want to share with y'all the experience of what it was to move here to Alaska. So we started this channel as my Alaska Dream Life. And then we changed it into the Frontier Preppers. I want to share with y'all the things that I went through in Cuba. Share a little bit of experience and whatnot. And I mentioned in prior videos that I hold an emergency management degree, and I was like, well, maybe I can talk to y'all, mitigate things and whatnot. But as we move through different stages of life, we have to be able to evolve. And one of the things that Mrs. D and I have been talking, she's like, how much more we can talk about prepping? And she has a valid reason, because let's be honest, we can talk about water purification, we can talk about stockpiling, we can talk about firearms, we can talk about all those things that everybody else is talking. The thing is that once that message gets said over and over and over, it gets diluted. And even though that I'm coming to y'all with real life experience, that I'm coming to y'all because I live in Cuba, I was born and raised there, I come to y'all from a place of, well, this is what happened to me, so I don't want that to happen to y'all. A lot of times, we don't see the return. And we don't see the return because we want the message to be spread, and that usually doesn't happen the way we want to. So, as we evolve and we move more into the homestead, in which it was honestly the goal to move to Alaska, to be more self-sufficient, more on the homesteading side and whatnot. I even talked to Mrs. D and I said, what are we doing? I mean, we can do, tomorrow's another day. Let's just do it tomorrow. And we make the decision tomorrow whether or not we continue the channel with the preparedness mindset, or just, we pivot into the homesteading. Because quite frankly, can we continue to talk about the same thing that everybody else is talking? Let's be honest. And that's another thing too. A lot of people talk about homesteading. A lot. So even Mrs. D was telling me, she's like, Billy, it's really worth it. We spend time in front of a computer, time editing a video, time that we are not enjoying, every single day. And this came to be because essentially we came across something very interesting that it said, every morning is not one more day. Every morning should be considered one less day that you have with your loved ones. And that actually hit us really hard to the both of us, because we looked around and we see everything that we have accomplished. We see how we develop this property the way that we wanted to. We see how many people we have in this channel. And at the same time, we see how many people continue to be ignorant of the truth. And they just refuse to see things in front of them. And the funny thing is, The funny thing is that you can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink water. And that saying really hits me hard, because every time that I see people make obvious, oblivious mistakes, I don't want to say oblivious because they know what they're doing, but they make stupid mistakes. It angers me and it makes me sad at the same time, because you have so many people telling everyone, for the love of God, prepare as best as you can. Preparing is not just the prepper world and whatnot. It includes so much. The ultimate prepper, in my mind, is just a true homesteader, just like our great grandparents used to be. It's just a different term nowadays. It is more. I mentioned this in a comment one time. Preppers are more known here in the U.S. and bushcrafters are more into the Europe and whatnot, and that's something that I actually looked into it to make sure that I got my things right, and that's the answer that I got. It was like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, doesn't mean that there's no bushcrafters in here. Doesn't mean that a homesteader is not a prepper. Does not mean that a prepper is not a homesteader. It's just everybody has this thing of we have to classify everything. Everything have to be you this, you that, and you the rest. No, it's just everything is just a bundle, and people don't see that. And the fact of the matter is that every single day that passes, you have one less day. Our days are numbered. The moment that we are born, the one thing that is for sure, nothing else for sure in life, but the one thing that is for sure is that we are all going to have an end. We are all going to have it, no matter what. This weekend, I told you all, I think it was Thursday, I told you all I'm going to take a few days. We did take a few days. We went, the weather here has been sucky, to be honest. It has been rainy, been gloomy, but we still hit the road and whatnot. We wanted to explore a few areas that we planning to use for an upcoming trip that we want to do. And Dee looked at me, she's like, you really do enjoy being out here. You really do enjoy scouting. You enjoy at home being with your animals. What you don't enjoy is dealing with, ignorance. And I said, it's not that I was like, it's not that it's ignorance. Is that ignorance is bliss. And I looked at her and I said, I don't know if I have a higher purpose in life. I remember everything, every single little thing since I was 5 years old. And I tell Dee all the time, because she's like, oh my God, that is amazing. I was like, that is not amazing. That is a curse. But, and I'm going, I know a lot of folks will be like, hey, just get to the point, Billy. The point is very simple, y'all. We are evolving. We are sharing with y'all the way that we do things. We're sharing with y'all the things that have worked for us. And I want to share with y'all something very important. And that something very important is don't take a single day for granted. You think you have a lot more ahead of you. I guarantee you that once you hit that middle age, your days are going to go by faster. And you're going to look back and say, where has the time gone? You can ignore everything that I say about preparedness. You can ignore all of that. You can ignore all my advice in regards to, hey, I have seen this in Cuba, the way things are moving. We may have to deal with, a economic crisis because, the writing is on the wall. You can ignore all of that. But the one thing that it is 100% sure is that every day that it passes, we have, in general, all of us, one less day. One less day. So, the things that I tell you is because I look back and I can't rewind time. I wish I could, but I can't. And I always think back, man, I wish I would have done this different. And one of the things that I regret the most is spending so much time in the grind and not with my family. That is the one thing that I regret the most. Anyways, I will leave it at that. Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. That's it. I don't have nothing else to say. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.